TNA was a solid show. There was nothing uber groundbreaking. I would say maybe the main event and the opening segment were the strongest parts of the show. The rest of it, if you skipped it, if you missed it, don't worry. Just wait until Rebellion, you'll be fine. Speaking of the opening segment, I guess we can just get right into it. What I liked about this is Eddie Edwards' perspective of Mike Santana. When the company was at its lowest point, when it was getting clowned on, when it was just not where it is now, Eddie stayed, but Mike went to greener pastures. But it really didn't work out for him. And Mike actually agreed with him because those are facts. And I think sometimes when it comes to a promo, even in a heel, a factual segment, a factual promo makes it even better. The justification for Eddie Edwards not only turning on the fans, but also needing to win this title and being the headpiece, being the representative of the company, makes sense. I will say the attack from Cedric and Leon Slater, I don't think it was necessary. I think if we just had these two have the interaction, stare down, this would have had more impact. But they did what they did. But I say go out of your way and watch this segment. If you want to see a good promo, if you want to see a good back and forth, sure, go for it. But if you're like, you know what, I think this is enough, I think you're actually in a good spot. I'll give it a full thumbs up, 100% a full thumbs up. But, as the opening segment, kind of weird. I get that these shows are pre-recorded, and so Dani Luna being here is very jarring. Is she released from TNA? Is she still with the company? I'm not privy to that information. It's just sort of odd. You would think that you wouldn't want to feature a wrestler that's no longer with your company on your show, right? Especially if they requested their release. This is very strange. Now, I'm not going to point out anything. Not going to say that Dani Luna is still with the company. But would you feature them? I know I wouldn't. I'm happy that they're still really putting over Jada Stone here. She won with a corkscrew moonsault. We had Tasha Steelz attack her. And what I like about this is that we see a lot of Order 4 on TNA programming. I mean, not only with this, but then there's a segment later that we're going to talk about. So Jada Stone being part of the Order 4 vortex is a positive. I will give this, I think, like I said, parts of this match dragged on a little bit. I thought it was a little bit long than it should have been, so I'll give an Orange Cassidy thumbs up. I have never been the biggest of fans of Taryn Terrell, taking nothing away from her or her contributions to the Knockouts division when, once again, TNA was in a slump, especially with the Dollhouse stuff, and how she really improved in the ring. Her stuff with Gail Kim was excellent, but her promo work has always just been sort of mid. I don't know why she was the representative here coming out. Maybe it's because it was her hometown of New Orleans. But let's talk about the Elegance Brand. I wasn't 100% sold on this 6-woman tag coming up with the Elegance Brand taking on the TNA Legends. I wasn't. This segment did help because it did show more of an aggressive side for the Elegance Brand. You can 100% tell Mr. Elegance did not want to hit Taryn Terrell. He was so hesitant on doing any kind of physicality against her. I don't know why. It's kind of weird. You can tell that Heather, M, and even Taryn were just telling him, it's okay. You can do something to her. It's fine. She can take it. I actually thought I heard Terrell say something to Mr. Elegance. Like, will you just fucking hit me? So he did. Good heat, I will say that. Double-edged sword. Orange Cassidy thumbs up. This match was like 3 minutes. It's odd. I mean, like this match and then the next match were very short. Kazarian won with the crossface chicken wing. We did have Ryan Nemeth attack BDE after because they have their match. I don't understand why Ryan Nemeth was trashing Nick. I don't know That was so odd. So last week, Ryan Nemeth attacked AJ Francis after AJ confessed to attacking Nick. But then all of a sudden, you are trashing your brother. What happened in the last 7 days? That juxtaposition is jarring. Elijah attacked Frankie Kazarian after too, so evening up the odds, saving BDE. Orange Cassidy, thumbs down. It was 3 minutes. What am I supposed to do with that? Same thing with this match. I don't know what to do with it. Elena Black has just been sort of stinted here in TNA. Just absolutely floored. Where when she was signed with NXT, she was going after the Knockouts World Champion. What the fuck happened? She's employed by you now. Elena won with a blackout. This is essentially Andrade's, God, what's it called? The DM? That double underhook into a neckbreaker move. Same thing. But Elena jumps with it, makes it kind of look flat. It's very strange. I'm not saying it's a bad finisher. Elena needs something with a little more oomph, you know? Once again, Orange Cassidy, thumbs down. Not a whole lot here. Was it terrible? No. Could have been better? Hell yeah. Now, would time be the factor? It definitely helps, but can we just get something going? This is your go home to fucking Rebellion. Mustafa Ali is such a good promo. I love this guy. I just like the whole Order 4 segment. Trey Miguel comes out there. Mustafa Ali says in a roundabout way of Trey's past with social media. Didn't say social media. But he's like, well, you needed redemption. Oh, where are all your friends? I did like that Trey acknowledged it and said that TNA gave him, another opportunity, which is great. But then we had Moose come out and attack, so Order 4 was run off. They were about to hit some big stuff on Mustafa Ali after a spear. Trey was going to do something, but was dragged out by the Great Hands. Mustafa is just awesome on the mic. I'm actually really starting to get Trey, just his vibe. It's getting a lot better. I'll be honest with you, him separating out from the rest of the Rascals was 1000% the right call. I'm going to give this segment an Orange Cassidy thumbs up. Could have been done better, definitely. Maybe something to keep the Great Hands at bay, but usually the Great Hands are useless, ironically enough. And this promotes 2 matches for Rebellion, the International Champion match, and then Moose is taking on Special Agent Zero. I'm a little bit interested of people's opinions on how TNA approaches tables matches, especially tag team tables matches. So it's not just one instance of going through a table. It is essentially a 2 out of 3 falls sort of match, where the fall is obviously getting forcibly put through a table. They said that ad nauseum, where you have to be forcibly put through a table. It's like, okay, you only have to say it once. You don't have to hear it 400 times. But in all seriousness, why wasn't this at Rebellion? It should have been at Rebellion. Also, the Righteous need to win some fucking matches. This is their second opportunity for the TNA Tag Team Champions. They have lost both matches, and I don't think they've won like squash matches, but that was about it. Part of being a heel is that you have to look like a serious threat, and attacking the Hardys and doing all of this does not help. You gotta win some serious matches. You got to look like you know what you're doing instead of challenging for the champions and losing. Challenging for the champions and losing when it fucking counts. The Hardys won the match overall. Carlos Silva, which I will be discussing here momentarily, was going to be giving the champions over to the Hardys. But then Dutch put Jeff through a table. And that was it. Nothing outside of that. I'm like, why? Is it going to lead to something more? Do we need another match? The Hardys already beat them twice. And if you consider within this match, the Hardys have beaten them 4 times. Because the Hardys put the Righteous through the table twice. I mean, it was a fine main event. I'll give it a full thumbs up. I like the concept of a 2 out of 3 falls tables match. Just that ending threw me off. It was jarring.